Can you hear me?
I can
Can
hear
you hear
you.
me?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. All right. So Megan is your name, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Awesome. All right. So what are we working on?
Well, I was just watching your video about the trauma release or whatever it was. But I have trauma from past relationships, so that's what I'm working on.
Okay, that makes sense. So, I usually like to work on symptoms during these sessions, unless you have we'll go crazy here. Like crazy ex narcissistic boyfriend or husband or whatever,
Yeah,
toxic
that's where I
relationship.
come from.
Okay.
Is the ex. Yeah, I'm married happily, very, very happily now, but have some of the trauma stuff that I keep, coming into my relationship. So.
I totally understand that. Let's actually do a session for you. I have a couple things up my sleeve. We'll go into like the body code and a little bit of the emotion code. But let me ask you this. Do you feel like you're still, and I understand that you're happily married, but do you still feel like you feel connected to him in a way, like trauma bonded still? Or do you feel like, how do you feel with like the whole breakup?
It's been a while and I'm totally happy with the breakup that it happened, but it's the way that I learned to love from him that was a horrible way. And so that's sort of the things that creep in now that I'm learning to love correctly now or being loved correctly, and I don't know how to do that. So that's what's happening is I'm not accepting the love because I never could before. So, fully, I mean, I accept his love. Obviously, we're married and we have a baby and we have a great
Yes.
family, but, and, it's just that sometimes I question the love, right? Or I question is it real or is he, all of
Yeah,
those
it's like the
things.
overthinking and the
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I actually
So
told
the
my therapist
triggers.
that I wake up in the morning wondering if we're fighting. No, and we are not fighting ever. So like I literally the first thing in the morning when I wake up is are we fighting or are we happy? Like it's weird. So I'm trying to stop doing that. Like, you know.
Absolutely. No, I totally 100% understand that. So, I am gonna do something a little bit different with tonight's live with this session, if you're okay with it.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I'm actually gonna do is release courtings with you and ex. Courtings is
Mm,
like trauma bonds, soul ties, whatever you want to call them. That
yeah.
way, you can kind of like 100% disengage with his
Hmm.
energy because sometimes that energy, like you bring that energy with you into your next relationship. And sometimes if you don't, not that I'm saying you still love him, but sometimes it's
Hmm.
like you still feel connected to him in a
Hmm.
really weird way. Does that make sense?
Well, we
And
have a
then,
child together, but he is 100% uninvolved. Um physically, emotionally, anyway, really. But it's always a question of will he come back, and I'm scared of that. So yes, the absolute there's still a chord there.
okay, so how about this? So we're just gonna call this like the toxic relationship mini session
Yeah, I appreciate
because
that. Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that's great. I like that.
Okay. So first, we're gonna release any courtings with him. Do you mind if you tell me his name? Are you
I
are
hate to
you
say his name. I hate
okay?
to
That's
say his
okay.
name.
That's
Yeah.
okay. So we're just gonna call him ex-husband. Are you okay with that?
How about we call him T?
T. Okay, we will call him T. Perfect. So we'll release some of those, and then the next thing that we're gonna do is Ooh, okay, we're going to release what is called a broadcast message. So, a broadcast message is basically a vibe that you put off towards other people, and then they unintentionally treat you that way. So, for example, if you have a negative broadcast message of ignore me, then you walk into a large room and then people unintentionally ignore you. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Yes.
So it's sometimes it's like that feeling of like you don't know why people are treating you the way that they are, and then sometimes you feel like you even deserve it. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then there was something else I wanted to release for you. Trying to think. We'll go from there. We'll go from there and
Yeah.
see what we can see what's there. So we'll have a quick moment of silence and we'll get to it. All right, can I act as proxy for you? Yes. What is the biggest courting we can release now that is with your ex-husband T? Yes. Okay, so this one is called a brain to brain courting. It's basically like that feeling of like then if you've ever been lied to, manipulated,
Mm-hmm.
gaslit, if you've ever felt like they were super controlling and
Mm-hmm.
like you were just getting all of these negative thoughts and feelings, it's because they
Yeah.
were brain to brain connected. So we'll go ahead and release that for and in behalf of you. Did we correct that? And then what's the bit next? What's the biggest courting you can release now with your ex-husband T? So this next one is a heart to heart. Maybe the relationship, like it felt genuine at first, but then, a lot of emotions can kind of taint that relationship and that connection. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's go ahead and release that. Or maybe it started off as a healthy relationship and then it turned toxic.
Yeah. Yep.
Release that. What is the biggest courting we can release now that is with your ex-husband T? So this one is the back of the neck. So the back of the neck is kind of like that feeling of like somebody holding on to the back of your neck, and then they have so much influence over you, for them to turn your head one way so that they can be in your blind spot or behind your back, being sneaky or
Yep.
um,
Absolutely. 100% sneaky. Yep.
okay, let's go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? What's the biggest courting we can release now that's with your ex-husband T? Okay, so I don't know if I can say this word online, but it's
Mm-hmm.
genitals to genitals. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the times, genitals to genitals is like a lack of safety or a codependency thing. So do you know where your root chakra is? It's right in
Yes.
that
Yep.
area. And a lot of the times as human beings, we are supposed to, as individuals, we are supposed to be grounded to the earth and not to other people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
so a lot of the times when that connection is made, you are finding safety in them rather than with the earth and grounding. And then
Mm-hmm.
also it creates a lot of codependency. And then occasionally there can be schmexual addictions as well, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes any sense. So,
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
okay, we'll go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? Yes. Okay, what is the biggest courting? Okay, this one is called a gut to gut courting. So gut to gut courtings are kind of like if you've ever been connected to somebody and you feel like you have to walk on eggshells around their emotions, is because
Yes.
that's where a lot of our emotions stem from. If they cause a lot of anxiety, they walk through the door and it's an instant like, I need to know how he is feeling so I know how to be like when he walks in the
Yes.
door.
Yep.
That's the vibe.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, let's go ahead and release that. Whew, that was a heavy one.
Yes.
Do you have another cording that we can release? Now, this one is actually very specific. It's liver to liver. So the liver itself creates a lot of negative emotions, specifically anger, bitterness, guilt, hatred, resentment, depression, frustration, indecisiveness, panic, taken for granted. So if you've ever felt like you were just like always feeling those emotions from him, then that's probably what it's about. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Did we correct that? What is do you have another cording we can release now with your ex-husband? Okay, so that's all the cordings that we have for now. I'm actually going to prevent you from connecting to him again. Did we correct that? And then just so you know, if he contacts you, it's because he feels like he lost control over you. Just so you know.
Okay.
Just so you know. All right,
Good to
and
know.
then I'm sorry, what?
That's so good to know. No, that's because I feel like that's what happens when I ever release any energy he contacts me. Like it's really crazy. So yeah. Okay.
It's because his the feeling that he needs is control, and it's easier to control people who are within your vicinity, or you know like their weaknesses. Does that make
Sure.
sense?
Absolutely. People that let you control them. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So the next imbalance I wanted to release was called a broadcast message. So again, it's basically a vibe that you put off towards other people, and then they unintentionally treat you that way. So let's ask, do you have a negative broadcast message we can release now that is going to help you the most? Maybe even 2, 4, 6. This one says, they hate me. Does that sound familiar with your husband?
I
You
would say
always
it. Yes, very much so.
wake up feeling like he just hates you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're fighting.
Release that shit.
Uh,
Did we correct that? Replace it with they love me. So usually we don't have to replace things except for broadcast messages. So we're going to go ahead and replace that. Eric, I saw your joke. Come on, bro.
It was a funny joke, though.
It was. He's my cousin, so I'm like, come on. All right. So, do you have another broadcast message we can release now that is going to help you the most? Maybe even out of one. This one is probably going to hit really hard. This one says, I am unforgivable. So if you feel like you're just walking around and you're like just always feeling like I'm not forgivable. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Like anything you do, you have to say sorry. Like just existing, you have to say sorry. So let's go ahead.
Yes, always feeling like saying sorry is what's yes.
Did we correct that? Replace it with I am forgivable. Did we correct that? What's the biggest broadcast message we can release now that's going to help you the most? May even out of 1, 3, 5. This one says, I am not safe. Let's go ahead and so if you just like the same thing, if you walk around and you're just like you feel like you're always attracting situations that make you to not feel safe, then that's probably why. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and release that. Or you feel like you always have to watch your back. Did we correct that? Replace it with I am safe.
Mm-hmm.
Do we correct that? What's the biggest, what is the biggest broadcast message we can release now that is going to help you the most? Maybe see even 2, 4. This one's heavy. Okay, so I don't know that I can say this online, but it's like kill my vibe. But the first two words were
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Unalive. Yes.
yes, like, but not really. Sometimes it could be like kill my vibe or like shut me down or
Yep. I
like
hear you.
suppress my energy or drain my energy vibe. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Did we correct that? Replace it with honor me.
Mm.
Hold space for me. Whew, that was a good one. What is the biggest broadcast message from your lean sound that's going to help you the most? Maybe C, even I 1, 3. This one says give up on me. Did we correct that? Replace it with encourage me. Did we correct that? What's it? All right. Go ahead and take a really big deep breath. Move your body around, move your shoulders around, your little
Oh, yeah.
shin. It's working. Get it, get it, get it, get it. And then one more big deep breath. You know what sucks? I forgot to get a number before we started.
Oh, my number was 8. I had put in a number earlier and I was like, oops, I didn't mean to put in a number, and I like just put in number 8. So that's what
So how do you feel now then?
it's funny. I can't stop moving this whole time. You said like shimmy and shake. Like I've been like stretching my neck this whole time and like releasing. I feel like I'm at a 5 now.
That's awesome. But you know what's so interesting? I felt like that 8 was like a heavy 8. You
It
know what I'm
was a
saying?
heavy 8. Yeah, it was like all that stuff you said that was heavy was like all the stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. So, oh my gosh. Woo! So let me
Yay.
ask you this. Would you consider like the way that you feel is like you feel more free or you
You know what?
feel
The control is actually the like taking back control of the feeling, because I've always felt like it's like a questionable feeling. Like I've always, and now I just feel so solid. Like I just feel like I've taken back the control.
Yay! Oh my gosh, I have goosebumps. I'm like,
I do
yes!
too, actually. And no, and it's crazy that I even found you because I just was scrolling and then just, I don't know, it was weird. But thank you
Yeah.
for what you did.
You're welcome. Are you okay if I put this on YouTube?
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Okay, awesome. Yay! I am
Thank
seriously
you.
so happy for it. Okay, so just so you know, I wouldn't be surprised if that number kept going down. And then I would
Yeah.
just make sure you drink a tall glass of water and meditate every once in a while. And
Mhm.
one thing I would say is there's an affirmation that you can say to help you continue to take back your power and take back the control.
Yes, please.
There is an affirmation. Let me see if I can find it. That way, if you want to like screen record or whatever, you're welcome to.
Yeah.
But let me see if I can take. Oh yeah. So it says, I call my energy and power back, filtered through source and cleansed from every person, place, or thing that has taken it with or without my consent. I call my power back now, and so it is. I don't know if you heard me or not, but there it is. So, can you hear me?
That was incredible. No, that was incredible. I'm sorry. I was trying to screen record at the same time. Can you
Oh,
say it one more time? Because that was really awesome.
yes, yes. I actually got this from somebody on TikTok. I reworded it some of it because it needed to be a little bit more like enhanced for me, but
Yeah.
I call my energy and power back, filtered through source and cleanse from every person, place, or thing that has taken it with or without my consent. I call my power back now, and so it is.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that.
Yes, thank you so much for being on
I
here. I
appreciate
really
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.